Hello, hello, hello. So, watering, explanation. This is where a lot of people go wrong. This is why plants die, which is not what we want, is it? So, I'll explain to you how to water a plant. So, if you're wondering why I'm on the on the ground, it's because the benches are a bit crooked, so the water bath wouldn't be stable, which is why it's on the ground. Yeah. So, water bath. This is my favorite way of watering plants. And if you don't have a lot of masses of plants, it's perfect. It's really, really perfect. So we use water bath. So the compost soaks up the water from underneath. It takes up what it can. And that's it. So it's ideal for seed trays, for delicate seedlings, cuttings. It's great. And plants as well, really. You can just, put your plant in, let it soak up, and then take it out. Easy. So that's one way of watering. And what you need to understand is, what does your plant need watering-wise? A plant from a desert doesn't need what a plant from a woodland needs. So understand what the origins are for your plant. Does it need well-drained compost? Does it need humidity? Does it need to be wet? Yeah, bog plants, for example. So understanding your plant's needs, then you're halfway there. Okay? Can you give that to them? Can you provide them with what they need? Oh, that's the door. Yeah? Understand what's going on. So, next thing, what's the weight of a plant pot when it's dry? What's the weight when it's wet? So understand that. Because if you understand what it feels like when a plant is dry, you just have to lift it up and, I need to water it, or I don't need to water it. Yeah, your knowledge will improve so much from a plant. And say, for example, pelargoniums, they don't need to stay wet. They quite like to be quite dry before they get another watering. South Africa. I know it's Africa. I think it's South Africa where they originate from. So understand that. It makes your life so much easier. And the obvious thing, stick your finger in the compost. Is it dry? Is it wet? Is it damp? When it's damp, most of the time, most plants, there's always exceptions, but most plants, that's fine. And then you can leave it for another day or 2 days or 3 days, depending on weather. Yeah, so watering also depends. Is it sunny? Is it warm? Is it cold? When months are getting cooler, you need to water less. Sorry, itchy nose. Unless are you growing them inside and it's always warm? Yeah? So, if you are growing seedlings, or you just sowed seeds of a decent size, where if the rain would fall on them, they wouldn't scatter, then you can use a watering can. Plants use a watering can. Anything that's very delicate, or any thin seeds that you've sown that would scatter, use a water bath. And I prefer, like I said, water baths anyway. Okay? If you use a watering can, this is called a rose, and sometimes you have them in different sizes. And they have different effects how you put them on. So, if you put them on how they come, the force, because the water will go down straight away, so it's a stronger stream. When you turn them the other way around, it will be a fine sprinkling, not always sprinkling, but a fine stream of water. So when I water plants with a rose, that's how my rose will be turned. It will be up tilted, so it's fine and more gentler on what I'm watering. So when I water seedlings or a seed tray or yeah, that's it actually, or cuttings maybe as well. You start watering outside the pots. So the stream is going, yeah, you have a steady stream and then you water. And don't just wet the surface. A lot of people do just the surface. No, you want the water to go to the roots. You want the whole of the compost to have some moisture in there. Yeah? So I'll show you what that looks like. My head is gonna disappear. So here we go. Making sure it streams. There we go. Over, over, over. That's it. And that's why pots have drainage holes. So the excess water can go out. If you have pots where it doesn't have a drainage hole, that's the train. That's when you need to be really on top of your watering, because if you water too much there, water can't go anywhere either. And you're much more prone to root rot, because that's what happens, hey? The root can't take up anything else and it just sits in wet and it rots away. We don't want that. So now I know what it feels like when it's thoroughly watered. So now I know when it's like this, when it's a bit less than this, when it's half like this, it probably doesn't need water. When it's lighter, I'll put it in a water bath or I'll water it. Yeah? Understand watering. Understand your plants. What do they need? Okay? Right, so watering plants with a watering can, you water the soil. You don't water the plant, you water the soil. That's where the roots are. That's where the water needs to go. Yeah? So what I would do now, I'm taking this off. And I'm just gonna water it on the compost. Now when I do this, if I just put it on the compost, it will make a little dent, because that's where the water goes. You can use a small tiny rose, so you don't have that, because it's more evenly distributed. Or aim it at the stem of the plant, at the bottom of the plant, because it hits the stem and it gets dispersed. Yeah? So, and again, don't just do a little blob. You want a plant to get water it. Okay, so again, understand the weight, understand when you need to water. And then water. Ooh, that's enough. Yeah, and again, drainage, anything excess still can go out. That's always a big help. Yeah, you might have a little saucer underneath it if you're growing indoors. Some pots don't have it, so make sure you understand how much water you're gonna put in or not. Okay, and then understand some plants need humidity. Yeah, plants that grow in a jungle. So how are you going to create that? Yeah, you're gonna spray around them once a day or once every other day, or are you gonna put them on a little saucer with gravel in that's wet? So it evaporates and it creates humidity around the plant. What does your plant need? What are the needs watering wise? And remember, if you water plants over the top and you're growing them indoors and you place them behind glass magnifies, so as soon as the sun comes through, it might burn the leaves. Yeah? Often in greenhouses, they have shading up. So they paint like a white film on the glass, so the light doesn't scorch the plants. Some have netting up, like shading, so it creates some shade. Okay? I think that's enough about watering. So, understand the weight. Understand how it feels like. Yeah? What does the compost feels like when it's dry, when it's damp, when it's wet. Understand if your pot has drainage holes or not. And understand what your plant needs. What does it need? Dry, wet, damp. Understand your plant. Know your plant. And if you water like that, how I showed you, you should be you should be doing quite all right. So if you have any questions, just ask, let me know. If you want anything else explained, let me know. Okay, so when they're heavy, so these have soaked up quite a lot of water, I'll place them on a bench, and for yourself, place them somewhere appropriate. Yeah, behind a windowsill or in the shade or whatever. Understand what your plants needs and then give that to them, and you'll be winning. Okay? Have fun. Let me know how you get on. Let me know what you're growing, what you're nurturing. And yeah, have fun.